Oops.
This is episode 420. This is episode 420.
Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you are not a member of our Facebook group, you should be, because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts. I'd like to remind you that the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is not censored, so listen at your own risk. Lift Heavy Run Long has an app. We want you to be on it. If you go to www.liftheavyrunlong.com, click the sign up now. You're welcome to use the free version of the app, which will give you 3 bodyweight exercises delivered to your calendar every week, 4 barbell strength exercises, and 4 daily WODs. For $19.99 per month, you can have access to all of the programs that Lift Heavy Run Long has to offer. Everything from 5K programs to 100-mile programs, to Spartan races to triathlons. I have sitting next to my right my loving, beautiful, and talented wife, Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell, Jack and Tan.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. What's
I
new?
got out of jury duty.
Sure
No
enough.
way.
Yes, you
Because
did.
you're a doctor.
No, actually, I did wear my uniform today to make sure that I could let them know I work in the COVID unit to scare them. But I went and turned in my paper, and they swore us in and told us to leave because they split us up for COVID. So the 8 a.m. group that came, they picked them all from 8 a.m. So the 1 p.m. joint left.
Oh.
Boom.
Worked out really well because she had things to do this weekend.
Yep.
So
Can I just say, I'm digging the haircut.
Oh, thank you.
And with the outfit, I feel like you just stepped off of like a 1980s Miami Vice episode or something like that. I'm digging it, though. You know, the whole like matching, jacket.
Yeah,
pants,
oh, yeah.
you know,
Pants
Yeah.
thing.
I was going to try to start humming the Miami Vice, doing the theme song, but I couldn't remember how it goes.
You look like Crockett.
Yeah, exactly.
Who?
Crockett. I didn't want
Crockett
to
and
call you.
Tubbs.
Tubbs.
I was going to say, I'm her Tubbs.
I don't
Those
know who
are
that
the
is.
two
Crockett
people from
and Tubbs.
Miami Vice.
Oh,
Those
I
are
didn't
the two
watch
main
that.
characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have the
Crockett
Reverend
and Tubbs.
Hello.
Vaughn Rawls.
Here I am.
Looking fly, being fly.
I don't know about all that.
How
but
are you?
I'm okay.
He can't turn that off, just so you know.
I'm super excited about this whole podcast thing.
No,
It was a
you
great
should be.
idea to start a podcast.
Has it been like 7 months
It
ago
has
that we
been
did this?
so long. It has been so long.
It's been a minute.
Do you have anything on your mind that you'd like to talk about before we finish introductions, or should we circle around right quick, get that done, and then come to topic?
I'll just circle around.
Should I even stop? Should I continue doing introductions, or at the beginning of the show, should I say, I'm Wilson, joined by my wife, Amanda, and Vaughn, and Thirsty, and then we just go?
I don't think it matters.
I kind of feel like we
I
do
don't
that
know.
anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like we do that. I mean, no, what you do is good.
I think you just
And when
keep
it's
doing what you're
appropriate,
doing.
we're just going to jump in and talk
Okay.
anyways.
Yeah.
Well, you know how I am. I get tied down in the structure, and then it becomes an issue.
So tell me about California Strength.
That's Big Thirsty right there. Go ahead.
Tell you about California
Yeah.
Strength?
Tell me about California Strength.
Well, I don't know anything about it. So
You're just wearing a shirt that says California
yeah,
Strength.
someone gave it to me for free. It has caffeine and kilos in the back. You know, they make
Oh, it's a
coffee or
C&K
whatever.
shirt. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about collared shirt
About all I
with
know.
red stripes on it. What is that?
Tell me about Miramichi Golf.
Do you
Club.
have to?
Miramichi golf shirts.
Do you have to know about the shirt that you're wearing?
No, not
Tell
at
me
all.
about the Gardener's
That's
Shadow.
I thought you'd never ask.
We have our work uniform on. I just realized that we both have our work uniforms on.
That's right.
I think I got. When I worked at Barbell Shrugged, there used to be this service you could subscribe to a box called, I don't know, RX box or something. One of those $9.99
Sure.
a month kind of things. And I got a box 1 month for free because I worked there, and this T-shirt was in there.
I really wasn't trying to call. I've never seen a shirt that said California Strength, so I thought maybe that was significant. I wasn't trying to be. Yeah. I wasn't trying to be my normal asshole. This was unintentional assholeness on my part, which I'm also very good at.
Right.
I haven't. It doesn't matter.
He wasn't intending to be an asshole by calling you out about his shirt, nor was he intended on being an asshole when he called Amanda out about her saying he's building a patio instead of a deck,
and
or a deck,
and that she looks like Tubbs, which
and
is
he
totally
called my wife Tubbs,
wrong,
which was rude.
She's definitely Crockett.
Yeah,
and you are definitely
like
Tubbs.
you said.
Jeez,
I forgot to say that the Big
Dream
Hill
Crusher.
Pond Walking Tall 25K and 50K is coming up. October.
I'm in for the 25K.
Yeah, I'm going to run it.
I'm gonna run.
Sweet. You gonna do the aid station?
I am. A little nervous.
Are you?
You shouldn't be nervous.
Yeah. I got
Nervous
big
about
plans.
not doing a good job, or nervous
nervous
about
about not
getting
doing a
COVID?
good job. I've got big plans. I don't give a shit about COVID. I'm just worried about not having a really awesome setup. So
You're gonna have it.
I need speakers. I've got your playlist.
Yeah.
I need speakers. And I'm gonna have like the little Bunsen burner things underneath to keep pizza rolls hot this time. And I think I'm trying to figure out how to do like little cups or something to give them so they don't touch anything. They can't touch my shit this year. They can't get their germs all in there. So I got to figure out an efficient way to get food out to people.
It kind of freaked me out, to be honest. Like I just didn't want. I don't want to be. I don't want to encounter all those people. You do this every day. You are at a hospital where you're.
Are you going to wear a mask while at the
I will.
station?
I'll wear a mask, and I'll probably wear gloves just to keep things sanitary for me touching stuff to hand to them. Not because I'm scared of touching them or whatever, but just to keep things sanitary.
Because they should be scared of touching stuff that you've touched.
Yeah. I mean, it's equal scariness.
Well, Brian,
my germs, their germs.
Brian and Sean have done a great job of making sure, it says in there, nobody's going to touch your bottle, nobody's going to.
Yeah. And I got to make sure with them that I can still do the things that I want to do that I have planned. It may be a big no-no, so I need to touch base with them.
Don't let it out. It's a secret.
Because the world's greatest aid station can't let out its secrets.
That's right.
I'm going to make sure I don't touch that finish line or touch one of those sticks or anything like that, just to be safe.
Do you get a stick for running 25K?
Don't you get a little stick?
I think so.
Good. I deserve a little
thank
stick.
you,
You
Katie.
do. You should get one. They should give you one anyway for working the aid station. Hey, you're off Mac.
Oh, God, man. I've turned my whole life upside down if you want to go in that.
We need to go on that. I don't know. I have mixed emotions. I have a feeling about that.
Yeah.
You tell me.
He's not off Mac. He's off Apple because he's also switched to an Android phone.
Yeah, that. Right.
I have completely switched everything in my life upside down since let's go down the list. Since
Who is this guy out of his comfort zone?
Did Apple piss you off?
No. I'll tell you. So the quarantine started since this whole March thing, quarantine COVID thing. I got a new job. Switched jobs. Switched from Mac to PC. Switched from iPhone to Android. Switched from Garmin to Goros.
Wow. Switch from no Ray-Bans to Ray-Bans.
Switched from shitty old glasses to some really nice transition lenses where I can read my phone whenever I want to.
Switch from not having a golf membership to having a golf membership.
I started playing golf again. I sold my gym.
Switch from having a gym to not having a gym.
Right.
These are a lot of big
It's a
changes.
midlife
I would
crisis.
say 2020 is actually doing pretty well.
It sounds
for you.
pretty good, yeah.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
Yeah.
There's almost not anything that I have not disrupted in my
Hey,
life.
just to be clear, same wife, same kids.
Same wife and same kids.
Okay, no, just-
Unfortunately, they won't let me
Don't
go.
say unfortunately.
No,
You might be listening.
unfortunately for
That's
them.
next. That's next phase.
They're probably sitting there just waiting for me to leave. But yeah.
Yeah, you've been decking out your office and everything at home because you've been doing the
At home,
shelter
yeah.
at home stuff.
Yeah. Now I'm home. The kids are gone. They go to school. My wife has always worked, and so for a while it was just me and my daughter Murphy. My son would sleep until 3:00 in the afternoon. So
Yeah.
now they're both gone back to school, and so it's just me in the house. So there's all kinds of things we could talk about of switching everything. Everything is switched.
We got all kinds of stuff to talk about just because I haven't seen y'all. We haven't
Right.
done a podcast in so long that I've been so excited about it. And I said, I wanted to make sure that we did one tonight. And I said, I'm jonesing over doing a podcast. So that led me to, where does jonesing come from? So I went down the rabbit hole of the term.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Jones. Well, there's arguments to that. Is that what you know it to mean?
No, that's a totally different thing. Like, that means you have something I don't want. But jonesing is like, I need to smoke a cigarette, like, real bad.
No. Wait, you just said keeping up with the Joneses means you have something I don't want?
Yeah, like keeping up with that I want. Like my neighbor has a car that I'm like, I gotta have that. I gotta keep up with the Joneses.
So yes, totally. My understanding is,
but jonesing
is a iteration of keeping up with the Joneses. Like, we just say jonesing because I want the thing, that other people have.
That makes sense. Yeah, right.
But I don't know that that's accurate. But that's my understanding. That's
I have a feeling you already know.
Just off
what
the
is
top
the
of
etymology
my head.
of that?
I was thinking the way that I interpret it is, in the early 1960s, a Jones was a craving, but strictly a craving for heroin. Clever junkies had been using the term Mr. Jones as a code name for the drug since it became popular with beatniks in the late 1950s.
Is that what the
And now all of a sudden, Counting Crows song means a lot more to me.
Man, I thought it was just like a real guy, Mr. Jones.
I'm looking for Mr. Jones was a subtle way to score when you were new in town and didn't have a regular dealer. The term evolved over the next several years so that eventually when an addict was alternatively sweating and shivering while in need of a fix, he or she was described as jonesing. In the early 1970s, Jones had expanded to describe any sort of severe longing or craving, whether food or a relationship or a shiny new sports car.
Wow. Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
So it's all related.
Yeah.
That was very well articulated, Wilson.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate that
Now
off the cuff description of what it meant.
That's me.
There you go.
So I'm wrong. So keeping up with the Joneses and jonesing are two very different things.
Well, this led me to the next bit of useless knowledge that I think that we all should know.
Let's go.
Please share it.
Bogart-ing.
Off the cuff again.
Bogart.
You've heard that term?
Yeah, that means you're hogging the stuff.
Okay. Do you know where would that come from, do you think?
Bogart.
Amanda, you familiar with that term, Bogart-ing, the whatever?
What does it have anything to do with the famous actor or whatever performer?
That's the only Bogart I know. That's the only thing I can relate it to.
And like maybe he liked to steal the stage or have too much time on stage or something like that.
Yeah, pretty close.
Oh,
Damn.
And none of these, all of this is speculation upon speculation.
Right.
I mean, none of it's factual. Do you know where the term comes from?
No, not at all.
It said, I know it from like quit bogarting the weed, bogarting a joint.
It's puff, puff, pass.
Yes. So, bogarting the weed.
I don't know that rule.
Senses of selfishness and excess evolved from the original 1960s use, meaning keep a joint in the mouth instead of passing it on. Recalling the actor's signature practice of keeping a cigarette dangling from his mouth even while speaking. Other senses of bullying or tough guy also originated in the 1960s and recall the actor's various roles. Another potential origin of the vernacular comes from Humphrey Bogart's role in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, in which his character, Dobbs, becomes increasingly selfish with the gold mine that he shares with his two partners. So you were on track with him, hogging stage time.
Yeah.
He hogged him.
Well done.
Yeah. So that's my contribution to the show.
There you go. Let's just quit now.
Yeah.
While we're ahead.
Anything else?
I got
I got
something.
more.
You have things.
I have something. So I got New Balance shoes.
Aren't they great?
Nice.
And I have to give a shout out to New Balance because I have
those almost match the outfit too.
They do. I think she did
I
that
match
on
everything.
purpose. She probably did that on purpose.
Actually, no, I just ordered them from New Balance. I told them just don't order pink. Just give me whatever. But they make size 13s in women's. So I actually have a woman's shoe on for a change because I always have to get guys.
Oh, really?
Because I have such big feet. So these are 13s and women's, and they fit wonderfully.
I love New Balance shoes.
I've ran in them once. They're okay so far, knock on wood. But I have, plantar fasciitis really bad. So hopefully
Well, that's exciting.
they'll do well. So I'm super excited. So shout out to New Balance for making really big ass shoes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you run a lot now?
Pretty consistently, yes. Yep. I'm hoping I won't die at Stanky Creek.
Do y'all have any interest in doing that Yeti 50-mile thing? Have you looked at that?
I have not. Tell me about it.
It's 24 hours. You can do it anytime between, I guess, now and
Virtual race.
yeah,
Sorry.
virtual race anytime between now and whenever October something. And it's 50 miles. You run, I think, 8.34 miles every 4 hours. There's no loading. You can't do 20 and then stop for 4 hours. You got 4 hours, do your stuff, and then rest whatever time's left.
With the goal of being 50 miles in 24 hours.
Yep.
Interesting.
8 miles in 4 hours?
Yep.
Okay.
So that'd leave you, a couple hours to.
So
2.5.
let's.
But you have
what
to
is it?
stay up for
Has anybody done
24
that
hours?
math?
Is
Yeah.
that the thing?
So what's the math on that? 4 hours
6 rounds.
is 240 minutes divided by 8. So that's
I think-
that's 30-minute miles. Like, right?
So you could basically just stay up walking real slow if you wanted to.
Well, I mean, I can run a marathon in 4 hours, so that's a
some people can.
that's a long. I mean, that's a lot of time
Well,
to run 8
April
miles.
Hillsden can do 50 miles in like 7 hours. So,
Right.
she did it at Tour de
But
Spree
you-
last year.
Yeah.
The year
But that's
before.
what we're saying. Like, you have to.
No, I know.
You can't run. You
But
have
still,
to,
30. I mean,
I mean, you could
Well, the
bust
challenge
it out.
clearly is not to break a land speed record. It's
No,
Right,
but
right,
you
right.
could bust it out and then have like 3 hours to rest. in between.
There's never been a time that you've done a 50 miler and it took longer than 24 hours, right?
no.
Okay. And there's only 1 or 2 miles on record that have taken you longer than 30 minutes.
The 42-minute mile
Exactly.
comes to mind.
And I think we could do this.
Oh, the whether we could complete the. I think the hard part would be staying up for 24 hours.
You can't sleep
Vaughn
during
did it.
your time
Vaughn
off.
stayed up for 25 hours. I've called him out about it before.
we did the. Well, no. Oh, yeah.
So you can't sleep during your break?
You can, but I mean, you only get a couple hours.
Dude,
That's
I ran
fine.
this morning and I came back and I took a nap before I got in the shower. Totally could do it.
Oh yeah, me too.
Okay, well then it should be easy for y'all.
What day does this thing happen on?
I didn't say it was going to be difficult for y'all to stay up 24 hours. I said I don't think I can stay up for 24
If
hours.
we get some McDonald's cheeseburgers and stuff.
It can work. I mean, we can make it happen.
They've got a date set, but I have to work that day, so I'm gonna have to do it by myself the day before.
Who's got a date set?
Melissa and Wilson and them.
What's the
Oh,
date?
so you're already doing this
Oh,
and you're
you're
telling
already
us
doing
about
this.
this after the fact. I thought you were inviting us to like be a group.
I think he's gonna get
and-
you guys into it.
Amanda knows every bit about as much of this as I do. She's acting like that I'm choreographing.
Well, she's
And I'm
definitely
just listening
telling
to
us
your
more
boss.
than you are.
So Melissa and Holly have a day, like what, October 3rd or something, 10th,
Okay.
somewhere around there, 3rd, 10th. Anyway, they've got it set up to where they're gonna do it somewhere.
I'm not going to do that, but I do want to get together when they do that and run a long distance.
I was hoping you were going to say we were going to get together and eat cheeseburgers while they run along.
Well, we can do that too.
It depends.
I just don't want to stay up for 24 hours. And Amanda says that she's going to do it, just start by herself on
So-
Thursday. We'll see how that goes.
So, if you're tired, how long would it take you to run 8 miles?
2.5 hours.
Okay, so you only have to stay up 22 and a half hours then, not 24.
Well, that's true. And then, if I wanted to do my last round in an hour, if I wanted to do like 6 minutes, 7 minutes miles.
Exactly. I mean, just knock it out. and get
because
it done
usually
and-
I become increasingly stronger
Exactly.
as I go. Y'all know this about me.
Exactly.
Seems like something that would be fun.
It would be fun. It'd be fun. It just depends on what day in October it is. I would do it.
So, what is today, the 24th?
Yep.
Yes.
I am 24 days into a run streak.
Oh, congratulations.
Whoa, no kidding.
2 miles a day, at least.
Sweet.
I like it.
I've gone as far as 6. And I'm usually doing like 2 one day, 3 then 2 and 3 and then 2, and then like on Saturday or Sunday, whatever the 3-day would be, I'm doing like 4, 5, or 6.
Where do you run at? Just your neighborhood?
I've run at the Greenway a couple times, but yeah, I mean, mostly just around the neighborhood. Just, I'm not trying to do group runs or anything like that. Just need to get out there for myself right now. And
You got a cool
still
neighborhood
sucks.
to run in.
Yeah. Well, I was just telling Katie that yesterday. I said the problem with running out of our cove is no matter what, the first quarter mile is uphill. Like you leave the cove and you go either way, and it's an uphill climb. One's worse than the other, but it's an uphill climb. And so it's like every morning I start off and I'm like, oh, my legs feel so tired, and I make myself run the first mile. I do not take a walk break in the first mile, and so that's mentally challenging, but I'm getting mentally stronger as well.
So do you run the hill, or do you walk up the hill as like warm up and then you go?
No. I start at the end of my driveway every single time, and I run that hill no matter how tired I am. And I mean, it may be a 13-minute mile, but I'm running. Not that 13-minute mile is slow. I know a lot of people would be grateful for that, but it's just. Anyways,
I love running.
24 days in.
I love running in my neighborhood. It's like the perfect.
It's flat.
So yeah, well, it's kind of flat, but in June, around June, July, I ran like 30 days.
Yeah.
Every day.
You were the one that inspired me to do this.
And it was around 6 o'clock in the morning when I would do it, and I would always see the same guy walking. He would be out walking, neighbor guy. I don't know him at all, and but it turns out he would walk. I would be running, and I would see him walking. And then my route goes right by his front porch. And so by the time I got to his house, he's usually sitting on his front porch after his walk. And so, I'd always wave at him. And when I see him out running, I'd say, hey, how's it going? Today, I went out running at lunch at noon, and it's hot as hell here. And I'm dying. I mean, it sucked. It sucked bad. And I came by his house, and he was, for whatever reason, sitting out on his front porch. And he goes,
he
hey.
stays there all day.
He goes, hey, how's it going? I said, man, I started way too late today. He said, I was going to ask you why you're out here in the middle of the day. I said, I don't know. Here I am.
Does heat bother you?
It sucks. It zaps me.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, it feels good because I feel like I'm working harder. But man, it takes a toll.
Yeah,
it was rough.
That's why when I'm running consistently, I always loved running in the summer because what's the old saying? Summer running turns into fall speed. It's.
Well, today it was like an hour. I've been doing like this hour of 4 minutes on, 2 minutes off, or whatever. And today it started out like the first few were like really good, and the closer I got to the end, I was like, oh, this really sucks.
You had a killer 10K test in the last week.
Well, I don't know about killer, but it was pretty good.
I don't know anybody else in the room that could run that fast.
53 minutes.
Whoa, that's awesome.
The cool thing about it was that the first mile was like 9:15. The second mile, 9:30. The second mile was like 9:15. The third was like 8:40, and then I started thinking to myself, I wonder if I could.
Your final mile was what?
7:55.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I can't run one of those.
Me neither.
Let alone as my 6th mile.
Jeez.
I mean, I've tried to do a speed test in the last 24 days, and my fastest mile is like 10:05.
Okay. Well,
that's where I'm at. But
it's all relative,
No, I know, and I'm not mad where I'm at. I'm just trying to tell you, like, you're doing awesome right now.
But I used to be able to run like 43, 44 minutes.
I almost messaged you one day earlier this month because you posted that you ran a 5K. Or no, you ran like 2 miles, I think. And it took you 21 minutes. And I almost messaged you and said, you remember when we ran a 5K in 21 minutes?
Right. But listen, I'm more consistent now than I have been in the last 8 years, so I'm excited.
I'm going to finish out this month with my run streak, and then I will break the streak by adding in swimming and cycling again in September. And then, October, maybe some weights, something crazy.
What?
We'll just see.
Are you full speed ahead on what you're allowed to do?
I've been my own limiting factor on that. I mean, Bell's palsy is probably 85, 90%
I was
recovered
about to
right
say
now.
it looks 100%.
No, it's definitely not. But I mean, I'm close, and I'm grateful for where I'm at. But the doctor in the room will give me shit for this. I've taken myself off my blood thinners.
Oh my God. Okay.
And because I just wasn't okay with not being able to run outside, and I was just using it as an excuse to not do anything.
Did somebody tell you couldn't run on blood
Yeah,
thinners?
the doctor told me if I ran on blood thinners, that it would cause hemorrhaging. Long runs would cause hemorrhaging in my knees that would lead to early onset arthritis.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe
Is
you
what
was
they
worried
told
about
me.
like falling and hitting your head and getting
No.
a hematoma or something.
And then I wasn't biking because I couldn't blink my right eye because of Bell's palsy. And then swimming, fucking COVID screwed me on that. Shut down the pools. So
Are they back? Are the pools back open? I feel like everything is back to normal now,
normal.
except you're wearing a mask, right? Like you're supposed to wear a mask, but you can
In
do
the pool
whatever
too.
You can do whatever you want to. Listen, we were at the pool. Somebody went on a vacation to a water park, and they had to wear a mask at the water park.
Really?
Did you guys see the town of Wuhan had like a big party at their? They have like a water park or whatever, and
Nobody had a mask on.
nobody had a mask on.
Wasn't it their weren't they calling it their revenge party or
Something.
Wuhan's revenge. Kung flu revenge.
Is your pool open at Windstone?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Have
but
you
it's-
increased your circle of people that you allow in your...
No. That circle probably will never get bigger. Like it wasn't going to get bigger before or after.
Are you geotagging them to find out where they've been and who they've been around?
Nah.
No. No questions asked. Just on a don't ask, don't tell
far,
circle.
So good. I mean, nobody in that circle has had tested positive or anything like that. So, I don't know.
Crazy stuff. They're playing football. I watched a high school football game on live stream.
Well,
Did you guys know who Jeff Calkins is? Did you see his
Yeah.
article this past weekend?
Yeah, he
on
was
Collierville?
pissed off.
Well, I mean, rightfully so, I think, because it's one thing to say we don't want the media here for this reason, but instead to give like the bullshit answer, like here's why we don't. And of course, Collierville High School today or yesterday reversed their stance on it, and now other groups is the way they've quoted it.
Well,
are allowed at their games.
Collierville in particular has switched their stance because they were going to go virtual, right? And then the parents all bitched and complained about it, and they switched. They said, "Oh, okay, well, you guys can come to school, I guess." Right? And so now they have kids in the school, and so they did the same thing with the sports, I guess.
Yeah, at the
I think it might have been the other way around. I don't know. I'm not the.
I have
on
no
that. I
idea
think it
either,
was we're
actually.
going to school 5 days, and then
And then they
switched it to
okay.
not so
Gotcha.
much. But I could have that backwards. Who knows? I don't care.
yeah,
I do care that I was able to watch a football game on TV,
that's awesome.
and that was fun.
Well, I know you're not going to be able to party in the Grove at Ole Miss this
Did
year.
you see?
Nope.
Did you see the new AP preseason top 25 based on the teams that are actually playing this year?
No,
6 of the top 10 are from what conference?
SEC.
I did see the SEC rankings. Yes, Tennessee's in there, number 25.
Isn't that normal?
What?
No.
Is it
No,
not?
no. Top 10 is usually 3, maybe 4 SEC.
Oh.
Just depending
I
on
just
what kind of
assumed
recruiting
SEC
class that they've
dominated
had.
that.
It's still pretty. I mean, we're always all over the place.
But I was a little surprised by some of the teams that were even in the top 10. But I guess when you take out all the ones that aren't playing,
And you factor in the fact that preseason rankings are complete bullshit.
no doubt. But the thing that cracks me up, okay, so Notre Dame is part of ACC football for a single season now. We had to give up some of our TV money to join the ACC conference.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we gave up some of our TV money to join the ACC conference so that we could have a football season. Because we're in the ACC for everything except for ice hockey and football. Football, we're independent. Ice hockey, we were in the Big Ten, or are in the Big Ten. And we wouldn't have had a season. We could have put together a season, but it wouldn't have been a, what if they call it, high ranked season or whatever because of who we've been playing. And so joining the ACC, we've got a 10-game schedule against ACC opponents. And because we joined the ACC dropped their divisions for this season. Because if we joined, it would have made the divisions uneven. And so now it's just 10 ACC teams playing 10 ACC teams. Or there's more than that, but, every team is going to play 10 other ACC teams plus one.
Is Notre Dame not being in a football conference just a business decision for TV?
100% TV rights. Yeah.
Boy, they've been on TV for a long time.
We've had NBC since the early 80s, and if we joined a conference, we'd have to give up some of that money.
I've never realized that.
Yeah, 100%. That's why Notre Dame will not join for football will not join a conference.
How long that damn contract been?
They've renewed it.
Really?
NBC will rewrite that check every time Notre Dame will let them. Every time. Because guaranteed almost always sellout crowds. They did a study 2 years ago, and the average ticket price of an away game goes up by almost 200% when Notre Dame shows up.
Really?
So it helps local economies when Notre Dame travels.
Well, now nobody is going to be able to go to a game, right? Or are they going to let people?
Most of the teams are trying to figure out. Now it's going to be a very limited, like 25, 30, maybe 40% seating, but they're trying to figure out how to do socially distanced game fan base or whatever. Like University of Memphis, they're actually trying to convince season ticket holders to turn in their tickets and get single ticket games so that they can sell more single ticket games. Because if every single season ticket holder keeps their tickets, then they won't be able to sell any single ticket games to anybody.
Oh.
Because basically, like, the four of us have season tickets together, okay? We can walk in, we can sit together, but there's got to be 6 feet around us in a 360-degree circle for any other seats near us. And so,
but the four of us can sit together?
We can sit together because we have our seats together. But groups that you didn't buy your tickets with can't sit near you. And so they got to spread out all these season ticket holders.
So they're going by the Vaughn circle method. They're allowing you, if they're in your circle, you can sit with them.
Yeah.
Oh, you're onto something.
Well,
they should be sending you some royalty checks.
They're not going to do anything like to verify your family or that you live together or anything like that. So that's the same thing. They're not doing anything different than a restaurant. The four of us walk into a restaurant together. They're going to seat us at the table together.
Yeah. Something kind of related to COVID is I went to give blood to see if I had any antibodies in my system.
I had my physical, or not a physical, but I had a blood checkup a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Hey, you want us to check your antibodies?" And I was like, "How much is that?" And they're like, "Well, your insurance will cover it." And I'm like, "Sure." And I came back negative.
Yeah, mine did too. But I was like, I heard you. I was like, I heard you can give blood, and they'll automatically check your antibodies.
Really?
So,
where is that at? You just go?
Vitalant or whatever. You can just go give blood, and they'll automatically check it.
What was that word you said?
Vitalant.
It's what Lifeblood's called now.
Yeah, Lifeblood. So Wilson and I went and gave, and I was so excited. I logged in my little thing, and I was like, negative. Me.
There's so many people that are sure that they've had it.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And it's funny.
I'm one of them.
I hear all these conspiracy theories about, we don't have the good antibody test yet, and that's why it's coming back negative.
No, I don't know anything about that, but
I hear that a lot.
There's still a lot of things we just don't know about the disease. So
I did.
If it's not a political conversation, tell me about this plasma thing that was announced today.
The what?
There's an FDA approved plasma transfer thing for COVID
We're using convalescent plasma.
Yeah, that.
So we've been doing that for a while.
Well, now it's been not approved by the FDA, but like allowed to take a step further for like especially significant patients or whatever. They're allowed to use that.
Yeah, they have to qualify. There's a form they have to fill out. Family has to fill out or whatever. And I don't know the qualifications for that because that doesn't come from pharmacy. It comes from lab. So I don't know that part. I just know the remdesivir part. But some of them qualify for the convalescent plasma, but they don't qualify for the remdesivir, the drug that they've made for the treatment of that. So it's pretty interesting. Seems like people do better overall at my hospital that I've seen that have gotten the plasma. And then the remdesivir, it's kind of a toss-up in the air. I honestly think, they're so bad at that point. They get to a certain point of, like, so bad, they're either going to fall off or they're going to get better. And that's when you give the remdesivir. And so if they get better, like, oh, remdesivir worked. And then if they pass away, it's like, oh, so it's like almost like you can't really tell. I don't know. I haven't been able to see any kind of trends with that yet.
Did you hear that the Georgia State quarterback he's bowed out for the season? He had COVID, has recovered, and he's got heart condition that was caused by COVID.
We're starting to see that now.
He's got heart conditions caused, and
Wow.
the doctors told him you can't play.
We're starting to see that now. We've got a couple cases that have popped up.
We've got to monitor this thing and see what's up. But you
cannot
now
play.
have a condition and you can't play because of COVID.
Yeah, I mean, you could kill yourself by playing, basically.
Oof.
Yep, COVID seems to attack the heart. So in some cases, and we don't know what the link is on that either. I don't know if it's genetics or what.
Yeah,
but
exactly. And that's the challenge. Like, it's easy to say, just let us all get it and recover from it, but we don't know what the long-term
Well, they're
effects
saying that
are
even
of it yet.
asymptomatic carriers who get it and never have any effects like of COVID, of headache, fevers, whatever, it can still attack their heart, and they can have a really bad heart after that because it just attacks the heart muscle. So that's scary to be asymptomatic and be like, oh, I'm going to be cool, and then, fries your heart.
I saw a bunch of NBA players in the bubble, which, by the way, I love what the NBA did.
I love how excited you are about the NBA.
Man,
it's been fun. It's been fun watching you on Twitter.
But there were players that they test those guys like every day, and they were interviewing these guys, and they're like, I tested positive, and here I am, like nothing different than yesterday. I don't have any symptoms at all, and I'm just sitting in my hotel room playing video games and doing whatever for the next 2 weeks.
And apparently the NBA has been using the normal tests and some new mouth swab or something like the NBA has been like on the bleeding edge of like, hey, since you guys are living in the bubble, like we're going to test you like normal 3 times a day, but we're also going to use this other test and verify that this other test is working.
Okay.
And I think it's a mouth swab, but what are the other types of ways that they would be testing them other than the nasal?
Can they do a blood test or no? Or
no, this is something way simpler. It's like a spit test or a mouth swab or something. I can't remember what it is, but the NBA has been basically like, yep, we'll test that for you.
I imagine they're doing a lot of tests like that because it's such a
controlled group.
Yeah. Mike Connolly, who used to play for the Grizzlies, is in the playoffs with the Utah Jazz. He had a baby, had to go home to see his baby born, missed the first 2 games of their series, flew back, and they made him quarantine for like a week before he could and test every day before he could come back and get and play in the playoffs.
Wow.
Like, so it's pretty wild, man.
Well, I told y'all I have a friend that close to me that tested positive, and so then I quarantined until my test came back. Mine came back negative. Well, my friend is now gotten sick. He was asymptomatic for a while, and it says every day.
How long did it take for it to kick in?
At least, I guess, probably 10 days at least.
Wow.
Because I talked to him. I assumed he was fine, and then I talked to him, today, and he went kind of through what all he's been going through, and he says every day there's a period where he thinks tomorrow's the day. Like I feel better, and then he feels worse than he did the day before.
The craziest thing about the whole thing to me is that it's all a hoax and not real.
Yeah, it's not even this guy. This guy's always faking sick.
I just can't.
Always has been for 18 years.
Like this is all made up.
It's nuts, man.
What we need to do is get GFO.
Quit being a damn sheep.
Get
That's right.
GFO to go do a blood transfusion with him. He'll be fine tomorrow.
Get some of that Miller Lite blood.
Yeah, he doesn't have tiger blood. He's got Miller Lite blood.
GFO giving life. Here, drink this. Take this. Take a shot of this and a swig of this.
Have you ever done a shout out to Daily Dumbbell on this podcast?
We used, yeah.
He did when they were going every day.
Yeah.
You guys have had some funny ones lately.
Thank you.
And I love just the honoring GFO or whatever on the one, but some of the ones you guys have done lately have been pretty funny.
It's a lot of fun.
Is it guys or is it just you?
It's just me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there used to be multiples.
Yeah. Scott was doing it for a while. But I've liked doing it and not promoting it. I don't put it anywhere unless it's automatically on WordPress to go out.
Right.
I don't put it on my own
I
site.
don't see them. Is there a Facebook Daily Dumbbell page that posts those?
Yeah.
Because I just don't see them.
But I don't ever look at it. I don't look at.
Yeah.
I just reached a point where I was getting so annoyed with myself. Just like, even my Lift Heavy Run Long blogs, my Daily Dumbbell blogs, when I do a Big Fat Nerd blog. So I was like, I'm just going to put it out there. And then I think I enjoy the responses I get from those more, the more organic.
This is like me taking my birthday off of Facebook and stuff, and so it makes it more real when people wish me a happy birthday.
I think so.
I'm like really
Facebook
struggling
reminding
with that lately. Like for the last year, like why am I even writing this thing? Like, and then I'll get halfway through like this long thing and I'll be like, what am I? It almost feels like I'm trying to get somebody's attention that I don't even think I need attention from someone. Like, why am I doing this?
I really like it. I like the attention that I get from, not attention, the awareness that I get from writing. When I'm actively writing, I'm actively looking for things to write about.
Yeah, but I think I think about that, but like I could just write it and not ever show it to anyone.
Yeah.
I can just write it and it's written, and there's that process with me and myself and I. And
yeah.
Do you keep a journal?
I'm off and on. I'm not consistent with it,
But I also think that somebody like you who is trying to decide what people are or aren't going to get from something could be taken away from them. You don't ever know what people need to read and when they need to read it.
That's the thing. Like, put the blog up, write the blog. Just don't have it auto post to social media.
right?
If you're worried about it.
Why am I? I think that's the thing.
I mean, if you're worried about like you're doing it for selfish reasons, then then the people that show up and that comment on it and that like it are the ones that are really wanting to be there and grateful for the post, as opposed to just a gratuitous like good job, great post.
Yeah.
And most people aren't going to like it anyway, even if they say they like it. From what I know of people just don't like to see people do well. They don't like to see, when you write something, then they're going to read it and be like, yeah, that's just him doing that. It's so annoying that he's always doing that. And that's fine. It's how people are. And, learning to get past that has been something that comes from writing a blog and not worrying about whether, just with the full awareness that, most people don't like to see people doing that kind of stuff. But that's their problem, not mine.
Yeah.
It's a fun hobby. I like doing it.
Yeah, I do too.
That's something I've always wanted to be in the habit of, and have never made the effort to be in the habit of, is writing consistently.
It's definitely a habit. Either I'm on it or I'm not.
Well, I mean, I remember at some point you, what was the deal you guys had? Like you had to write for 5 minutes every day. How long did you do that? Like 6
a year.
Plus? Oh, you did it for a year. I was going to say 6 months, but
yeah, I wrote
that's
every day
amazing.
for a year. Well, 5 days a week for a year.
Yeah. That's still amazing.
Yep. One word topic. And 20 minutes. That was good. And that's another thing. My blogs don't take any time. So, it's not a big time investment.
But you're such a good writer. It just
I was going to
comes
say,
so
yeah,
easily.
it just
Thank
flows
you.
out of you.
If
Seriously.
I want to write so bad, and you should see on my computer, I've got so many things like started. Even at work, I was going the other day and looking through my Word documents. I'm like, ooh, probably need to take that off. But anyway, I start stuff and I'm like, oh, this is going to sound great. And then I get stuck. How do I want to say that? And then I lose the momentum of wanting to do it because I start having to like really try and process what I'm trying to say. And it's just like, forget it. So I've got all these like started documents and it's like, So it's definitely a talent that you have.
Well, that's nice of you to say. Our son Grayson started cross country.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah. He's doing really well too. He was named captain. He's, helping with he's a group leader, and doing all that. And he runs a lot.
What grade is he in?
He's sixth.
Eighth.
Seventh, eighth. He's in eighth grade. Andy's in sixth grade.
In sixth.
Yeah, and he loves it.
That's amazing.
I love it. He runs like almost every day, if not every day. And this summer they sent home a log year or whatever. So he's like, meh. And the whole thing was just to turn in the log to get a prize. And he's like, I don't care about the prize. But dude, ran. I mean, he probably could have won it easy. He was running every day.
Now, does he have a smartwatch or
Yeah.
what's he got?
I got him a little Garmin.
Whatever.
One
Doesn't
of the
matter.
little cheapy Garmin things.
Yeah, Garmin's
just
good.
enough to keep up with it.
Garmin's
So
good,
any
not as good as
idea?
Chorus.
Have you looked at his
Lots
data?
about it now.
Any idea how much he ran this summer?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
I'm just
I
curious.
don't have a thing to his count, but it'd be interesting to see. I know we could pull it up.
Yeah. But he does like 2 miles at a time.
And he's always beating his time. He's like, I want to do it in whatever minutes today, and he'll come back and be like, I beat it by 30 seconds. I'm like, dude, that's awesome to improve your time by 30 seconds. You don't even understand. And it's during the summer, so in the fall you're gonna be freaking
lightning.
flying.
Yep.
Kid's fast.
Yeah. And he's always like, I'm not running today, taking the day off. And then
And then
20
about
minutes
noon,
later,
he's like,
I'm going to go run. It's like, it's 3 p.m.
Yeah.
It's 2 o'clock. Let's go do it
Why
now.
don't you get up in the morning and do this, man?
But he works hard. He
Yeah.
does really good.
It's good that he likes it.
I went to pick him up today, and he was like, man, I saw you talking to the coaches. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? And he was like, no, it's fine. He was like, that guy and that girl I was walking with, they're like, whoa, are you related to him? And Andy was like, I think that sounds like an insult. I was like, that is totally an insult.
I don't know what that means.
Well, he went and checked up on whoever you were talking to, and they were just like, your dad's a really nice guy. And he went to find out what you were talking about to make sure it was okay.
Is my dad bothering you? Do I need to tell him to leave you alone?
I never really thought about what they have to worry about with me being left alone with one of their, the people they're around. They don't know what I act like around, grown people.
I mean, we do have a running podcast, so you
Right.
probably could teach the coach a few things.
Yeah, I should just bust up in there and be like, hey, I got this podcast. You know what? Step back, son. Give me a whistle.
Listen, what's your plan for this week, Coach?
What's this?
Don't you think this is too much volume for these kids?
Look at this 3-point stance. Watch me fire out of it.
Did you even teach them how to run before
Have they
you started
deadlifted
doing it?
yet?
You got a pigskin around here. Give me a jersey.
Jackson won't tell anybody that I'm his dad.
He won't.
He's like, when people ask me, I get because I don't know if they're gonna say they.
What do
hate
they
you or-
ask? Is Vaughn your dad, or is that guy your dad?
Right. No, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but
Well, I mean, you don't really think about, I don't know if Grayson thinks I'm going to walk up to one of his parents' friends and start yelling at him about the remote control. They don't see me outside of my environment, or if I'm just going to whatever.
So you played sports as a kid, right? Growing
Yeah.
up? Was your dad around while you played sports?
Oh, yeah.
Were you ever embarrassed by him being around?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
I guess
I mean,
I never played sports growing up, so I don't have that experience, but
I should have been.
I can remember as a teenager, if my parents were ever around anything that I was around other teenagers with, I was embarrassed about my parents just being alive. It didn't matter what they did, what they said. I was just embarrassed.
I don't think
by them.
I ever had that feeling. I always thought my dad was pretty cool.
My dad was always super cool, and all my friends thought he was super cool, and they always screwed with him, and he screwed with them at practices, and was never too much or in the coach's business or anything
Sure.
like that. He was just a fun guy to have around.
Well,
That's not to say he's never embarrassed me. He does that now.
last year when Jackson was in school, he was really heavy in basketball. Basketball is his sport, and hopefully golf will be because now he's playing golf. But he didn't play football because he didn't want to play football. But everybody that played football got to go at seventh period and lift weights. And so he was just sitting in a room while everyone went to go lift weights because everybody else played football. So he signed up for football for this year so that he could go lift weights. And so he did start going to lift weights back whenever they started doing it a long time ago. But he hates football.
That's a problem.
So now I'm like, he's like, I really want to quit football. We're like, you can't quit. You started football. And so now
That'll be a good life lesson for him.
Now he's
He
like,
sticks with it.
he's like every day today. You know how hot it was today. They're out there in
Are
full
they doing
pads.
2 days?
No, not
Okay.
2 days. But he goes after school and he's like, this is so terrible. This is terrible. But I told him, I said, listen, you're not going to play in the games. Just screw up in practice. Go to practice and don't do good and just whatever. And they won't put you in the game.
Ride the bench,
Because he's
yeah.
worried about getting hit and all this stuff. But he keeps doing good. And he comes home from practice. He's like, man, today I intercepted 2 passes. And the coach was like, and I was like, stop doing that. Like,
If you don't want to make the team, stop being good.
this sucks so bad.
Man, I got moved up to second string. I'm scared to death.
So his hope is that he's not going to play, but he's just going to
Yeah.
stay on the team and whatever. But I'm like, quit, stop, start just dropping.
You wouldn't
passes.
let him quit if he said, "Dad, I just really want
He's
it."
already said that.
And y'all are like, "No way."
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
I think it would be worse for him if he quit. I think it would be bad for basketball.
Oh no, I'm not telling.
You know,
I'm
I
not
think-
like saying. I'm just saying that sucks. Not that's a bad decision. Don't hear me giving advice on what
right,
you need to do.
right.
I'm saying like for Jackson,
So
that sucks to be
I
in
mean,
that
he
position.
came home from practice today and he's just like, God, that was terrible. He's like, there's people throwing up on the side.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, the fat guys are just falling out. He's like, I did the thing today. He did say, he goes, I think I got some endurance genes from you, Dad, because today I won all the runs.
Oh, that's
on
cool.
The thing, and he was excited about that. And he was like, man, those big dudes, they were throwing up. Like one guy was throwing up on the sideline. One guy, I think, passed out. I was like, oh man, this is
Well,
bad.
when basketball comes around, he's gonna be tough
That's
to catch
true.
on the fast
Yep,
break.
he'll be in
Yeah.
shape. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Did I didn't tell you. I had a dream. Okay, I'm not going to go into a long spiel, but I saw Alan from across the room, across the street, and he's carrying like these bags of food, and he won't acknowledge me. And I'm like, Alan. And he's like, just blatantly not like Judge.
Judd. I was going to say that Judd.
Won't look at me,
Okay.
and I'm like, man, what? And he won't do anything, and so I'm pissed off. Then they messed up my order, and I'm pissed off, and I'm sitting at this concrete table, and you come over and you're carrying your football helmet under your shoulder pads with the Germantown Red Devil jersey over it. And I'm like, Vaughn, dude, you didn't tell me you played for Germantown. You're like, yeah, I've been coaching over there a little bit. And I was like, this is so awesome. Like, this is the greatest thing in the world. And then I woke up. I've been wanting to tell you all about it. It was a great dream, just all day. I was happy about it.
That dream happened 6 months ago.
It was like 3 weeks ago, really.
It has been a long minute since we recorded.
Yeah, it has. I don't know. Your lake house, man, how's that coming along? That's a beautiful place you got.
Oh, it's so amazing. Yeah.
I'm sorry we hadn't been able to come all those times that you invited us. We've just been busy.
One day.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I don't want
No,
to come to
it's
your
a-
stupid lake house.
No, we are super fortunate. It's my mother-in-law's place, but my wife's whole family has a house down there. So my mother-in-law has 3 sisters, and 2 of them have houses as well with all their kids there, and then one of their kids has another house. So there's like 4 or 5 houses between the.
So did Holly grow
was-
up there?
Yeah.
On weekends and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, yeah.
Because you probably won't have the same appreciation that like Holly will, like what that'll mean to Jackson and,
Oh, right.
and Murphy.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
You know, to grow up around that would be really neat.
Yeah, her uncle has had a house there forever since they were little, so they've been going up there and doing all that stuff, and he owns all the land around it and all that kind of stuff. And several years ago, my in-laws bought a house there as well, right on the same street, and renovated the whole thing. And then a tornado tore the whole thing down a couple of years ago, or last year, and now it's completely rebuilt and redone, and it's like super amazing. Like, I could live there. It's incredible.
If that was the offer, would you do it? If they said you can live here, you can do your job here, but you can't leave here,
I could totally do that. Yeah.
you would
It's
sign
just
that
they'd have to
contract?
put some fiber internet connection in there because right now there's zero internet.
Oh, I wouldn't expect you to. I wouldn't even ask that question that didn't involve internet,
Right.
because I wouldn't go anywhere that didn't have.
Just give Starlink another year or so, and it'll be.
I don't know. Yeah. If I could do my job somehow without internet and still live there, I would totally go live there.
But they don't have you don't have access to internet at all.
No, not really. Her uncle has internet access down the street, but it's like the satellite internet that's like it's not even worth going down there.
Starlink.
Yeah, you can't even do like you try to do like a Zoom meeting and like it doesn't work.
How long of a drive is it if you were to come and go commute to
2
work
hours,
every day?
2:15.
There was a period of time where I thought I was going to buy a house at Horseshoe Lake. It's like an hour, maybe hour and a half, maybe, and just kind of live that tucked away, redneck, cheap pontoon, drink a lot of beer and work hard life. And that went away. But I was the whole like lake life seemed pretty good for a while.
Well,
I
everyone,
wish we had a lake house.
it's hard work. It's work.
Yeah.
Like, you go and work because since there's 4 houses, there are really 2 other families that need work done. And I'm the youngest. Like the parents are getting into their 70s, so somebody needs to chop trees and do all these things. And sometimes there's things that a 70-year-old man can't do, and they need someone that can lift a whatever off of another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's usually a project. It's like, oh, Vaughn's going to be here. Here's a list of things you need to do while you're here.
Nothing wrong with that.
And there's not anything wrong with that, and I enjoy it actually. So, that's how that goes. It's work, but it's also a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Oh, we went and saw Brushy Mountain Penitentiary.
Yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot to talk about that. We sure
Is
did.
I don't even know.
That's where
Where
the
Laz is raised.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Rat Jaw
Barclays.
and all that.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Barclays. Thank you. That's the word I was trying to get on.
Wow.
Yep, that was cool.
So you guys like toured the penitentiary? Or,
Yeah.
Or just drove by it?
they apparently
it.
they've only been doing that for like a year or so.
Probably
that's
because
interesting.
of that race.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe so. They're still trying to get in order, and what they've got open so far is awesome. It's a lot of history packed in there, and they've got some old security guards and some old prisoners that stand around in different areas of the prison, and they tell their story and
Oh, wow.
talk about what cell he lived in. And this one guy was in the room with all the shanks and stuff and was talking about all that.
Like people that were actually in the
He was a
prison.
Yeah, this
prisoner.
guy was.
Oh, wow.
I almost made the smart ass comment when we were walking through, and I was like, "Look like one of the inmates stuck around." And then, sure enough, he's in there like tour guide, and he was fascinating. Like
Wow.
listening to him
It was
talk.
yeah. My mom was so enthralled and so excited, and they give like private tours with guides, and so she wants to go back and either be toured by a prisoner or a security
Wow.
guard, and them take her around as well and tell their stories. And
That
stuff.
would be pretty awesome.
You think that's that private tour thing is COVID related? Or do you think that's just the way it is?
No, I think it's just the way it is.
Cool.
He was talking about some of the, they had a collection of homemade weapons and like guns made from pins that would shoot bullets. And
Yeah, he was explaining how they built
tattoo
them.
guns and things like
Yeah.
that. And he had very intuitive people doing this stuff. And when James Earl Ray escaped, each of like 5 prisoners had one piece of 90-degree plumbing. And so the deal was, once this is over, they staged a fight out in the yard, and as the fight went on, the guys ran out with their pieces and screwed their ladder together for him to get
Oh, wow.
for him to get out.
Huh.
And so just hearing stories like that, he was talking about how they would take guitar strings and just slowly cut out pieces of their bed to make shanks. And when they took the guitar strings away, they'd do it with dental floss. That's how much time they had
Yeah.
to just cut through. And he said at night, you could hear the sounds of people sharpening their stuff on the concrete floor.
Yeah,
And
you
he's
hear
like,
the
it's an eerie
scraping.
feeling. Can you imagine that being like a pissed off Bob over there? And now I can hear Bob sharpen his damn knife.
Well, that's the thing, you know, and I hate to talk about the movies, you know, but like Shawshank Redemption, you know, like
Is the best movie ever.
Is
Yes,
the best.
it's
It's
an
the
amazing
best
movie. But, you know,
ever
but
made.
you talk about
Yeah.
like you know, Andy Dufresne, you know, he picked through, you know, the wall, you know, and you saw how many times the girl, you know, the girl of the year changed or whatever. I mean, how long that took him. I mean, it's a good example of that. You
Yeah.
know, it's like they got all the time.
What
in the
else are you
world.
gonna do? Yeah, wonderful. I want to watch Shawshank Redemption like right now. We're out of time, dudes.
10 minutes after 8.
Yep.
That was fun.
That was fun.
do this
Episode
again.
number
We should do it again. This is number 191.
191.
Not episode
Yeah.
420
Wow.
like I thought.
Yeah, my 190's really faded up there. We need a new marker.
Go to heroes.stjude.org/Amanda/horror/Von Rolls and please donate.
Please
money.
donate.
I'll give my watch to you if you donate $10 between now and the first.
You are entered into a raffle to win the watch.
That's right.
If you give at least $10.
Yep.
You're not giving your watch to the first person that gives you $10.
No. If that was the case, you're too late because someone already won.
No, that's good marketing. And then I can edit around. Be like, we'll go back and review the tapes and be like, I'm giving my watch a chance to win my watch. Watch away for it. Lift Heavy Run Long, number 191 is in the books.
Boom.